Hi, we are going to be doing a fun, flippy light painting image here today. And the first thing you want to do is open up one of your light painting images. You're going to want to crop it. However, you don't have to crop the entire image. You could just crop a small part of it. It's really up to you what you want to crop. So I'm going to go to File, New. I'm going to create a new document, and the new document is going to be in inches. It's going to be 10 inches wide, 8 inches high, with a 300 resolution. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to go back to my image that I'm going to be working with. I need to flatten this image first. Okay, so that's like the first thing I need to do is flatten this image. Going to go to Layer, Flatten my image. I want to make sure I do not save it this way, however. Okay, I'm only flattening it for my fun Flippy, and I'm gonna want to save a whole new version of this so that I don't overwrite my original image. Okay, so just going to flatten it for now. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to crop it for 5 inches by 4 inches. So 5 inches wide, 4 inches high with a 300 resolution. And I'm going to crop into this a little bit. Like I want to have a little bit of a black area. So I'm going to crop right there. And if I don't like that, I can undo it. So I might actually undo it because I want to have something like that with a black area right in here and a little bit of a black area in here. Okay, and so I'm going to want to look and see how this will look when I copied it onto my white document. So I'm just going to go Edit, Select. I'm going to go to Select All and go Edit, Copy, and go back to my untitled document and go Edit, Paste. Move it into place, edit, paste, move it into place. And I'm just going to flip this to see how it looks. Edit, transform, flip, horizontal. So I can see that that works pretty well. I've got a big black area. And if I were to paste it one more time, I would have like a big black area here in the middle that will allow me to do some work with it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Go back to that image I was working on. And I'm going to start to add some stuff to this. So one thing I'm going to add is I want to add a silhouette. So I opened up this image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this image. Okay, I need to flatten it. Let's imagine this is my second image that I worked on. And then let's say I did a silhouette. So I'm going to flatten this image. However, I'm not going to save it this way because I don't need to save it. I'm just going to be borrowing some parts of it. So I'm just going to go halfway through with my little lasso tool. I'm going to kind of go around the edge here with my little lasso tool. And then I'm going to come over here to Refine Edge. And I'm going to feather it out. Okay, so I don't want it crisp. I want it nice and feathered. And then I'm going to say OK. And I'm just going to select half of the body. So I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and come back to my paint image, light paint image, and go Edit, Paste. And I'm going to resize this now, holding down my Shift key. I'm going to place this in here, and I just want half of the body. And okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to duplicate this layer because I want to have more than one of these in there. So I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to click on my Move, Show, Transform controls, and I'm going to actually move this. Okay, so that it's kind of coming at an angle now, and I'm going to make this a little bigger here. And I'm going to add a layer mask to the layer below because I want to remove this painting effect right here where it was covering the body. So I've got this body here, and that's too much. So let's crop in a little closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. I want a body here, and I want a body here as well. Okay, so gonna make sure that body is there. I got a body here as well. Okay, so I've got that body and this body. So I'm going to go in and click on my layer 1 where I had the first body, and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and I'm going to change the color of that to a red, a green actually, and I'm going to remove this kind of yellow greenish color over the original on the second blue body that I had duplicated. And now I'm going to duplicate that body again. And I'm going to again move that down to here and rotate it. So I've got 3 bodies coming into this corner now. And I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and I'm going to change the color of that to kind of a red color. Do I want a red color or do I want pink? Look at that. I think I like the pink. Okay. So, and then I've got this first body that I added that I want to lift up a little higher. Okay, now I've got this space in here. Definitely needs something in this darker space in here. So I'm going to add a new layer. Make sure that goes up to the top because I want it to overlap all my layers. And I'm going to go select a brush that I have here. And it's a kind of a swirly brush. So I'm going to go ahead and see what that brush looks like. And I'm going to do kind of a yellow swirly color right here in the center. I'm going to move this down. I'm actually going to resize that, make it a little smaller. And it's yellow, but I'm not going to keep this yellow. I'm thinking that I'm going to go over here to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation. And I'm thinking about making this more of a green color. And I'm going to double check to see if a layer style would be appropriate for this. So maybe a stroke, but definitely not that thick of a stroke. So I don't know if a stroke is going to work because it seems like it's too thick. So maybe an outer glow. Okay, that works. But maybe I want to bring the opacity down on that, and maybe even think about changing the color of the outer glow to blue. Okay. Okay. So you can see the effects here. What if I added a bevel emboss? What would happen? So let's try that. Okay. I don't know if it really made much of a difference, but we'll try it out. So if I turn it off, it's a slight difference. Okay, so now I've got this layer, but I feel like I want this to come closer to the edge here, like more right there. So it's kind of evenly spaced between this vertical and horizontal edge here. And now I'm thinking that I'm actually going to duplicate that layer and bring it out and actually resize it slightly and make it a little bit bigger, and even go in and change the color of that. Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation. Let's make it another color. Let's maybe kind of a blue color. And I'm going to lower the opacity down on that So it looks like it's more behind the green one, and it does. And I'm going to make this a little bigger and bring it down slightly. And now I'm thinking that I might want to check this out and see how it looks when it's duplicated into my document. So I'm going to have to basically merge these layers. So I'm going to go to layer, flatten image, so I can copy and paste everything at once, and go to select all, edit, copy, come back to my document, and go edit, paste, and I'm going to put that up here, and I'm going to go edit, paste. Looking at this, I think I'm going to need to do some layer mask work on my figures that have been duplicated. I'm going to go to edit, transform, flip horizontal, and I like the way these shapes are coming together here, but I feel like I've got, like, right around here some really dark areas that I don't like. So I'm going to delete this. Come back into my working image, and I'm going to go and unflatten this and go back in on these layer masks a little bit and on my duplicated figures, and I'm going to remove, using a soft brush, some of the edges around these figures to make them not so dark. Yeah, that's a little better. Just kind of going around the edges of my figures. I got this, head here and part of the shoulder. And here I've got the head. Whoops. I don't want to paint yellow. So make sure I've got the head of this figure here, and I'm just going to kind of come around it a little bit. Just kind of blend that in a little better. Go back on my pink one. So looks like I might need to add some of that back in. Go back on my yellow, add a little bit more in here. Okay, that's a little better. And let's flatten this now and see what happens. Layer, flatten image, and I'm going to go into a select all, edit, copy, and let's come back to my document, edit, paste. Alright, I already see something up here that I don't like, so I'm going to just delete that and go back to my working image and unflatten. And I'm going to check my layers by turning them off and then turning them back on again. Alright, so on this blue layer, I'm going to remove some of the stuff up here. It's too dark. It was impacting my image in a negative way. It was making it look like I had too much of a dark color over these bright painted areas that look, I want to keep them bright. I want to keep them nice and painted here. Okay, so now I'm thinking about adding one more swirly color, so I'm going to add a layer mask, and I'm going to do a yellow swirl. Come down here and select a pretty tight yellow swirl. I want to put right here. Maybe enlarge that slightly. Click enter. Yeah. Right there. pull that down a little bit. Okay. That's kind of giving it a three-dimensional look, so I really like that. And then add another one, and I'm going to increase the size again. And I'm going to paint that into where the blue is going to go. Like, so that was too big of a brush, so I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to go back to my brush tool, select the same tool that I used to make the blue one, okay? I'm going to go ahead and stamp that there. And you see how it kind of makes that almost three-dimensional look there with, I think that works a little better. And then I feel like I need something right here in this left corner, so I'll go ahead and add another layer mask and use my brush tool to stamp something right there in the left corner, but I don't like that, so I'm going to undo. You see how you can just, if you don't like something, just undo it. Make a smaller brush. Go ahead and stamp there. Okay, so made a little swirly yellow right there in the corner. So now I'm going to go to Layer, Flatten Image, and I'm going to go to Select All, Edit Copy, come over to my Untitled document, which I will eventually name, Edit Paste, and I'm going to move that into the corner here, and I'm going to crop in a little closer so we can see what we're doing. Edit Paste. So we're creating a very colorful project. Very, very colorful. Edit, transform, flip horizontal, so it comes together. And I think that's going to work, so I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Edit, paste. Bring this down to the left corner. Edit, transform, vertical. Alright, so it's all coming together. And then go edit, paste. Bring this to the right corner. And for this one, we're going to have to do two steps. Edit, transform, horizontal. Edit, transform, vertical. Flip vertical. And so then it all comes together now. And we have these very interesting shapes in here. If we zoom out, we've got this kind of figure that's these figurehead being repeated as it goes around. We've got all these interesting lines and swirls. So this is definitely something that you could turn in. Here are some other examples that were done. Using the same base image. All of these were using the same base image of the original swirls and light painting swirls. And here's another one. And back to what we just did now in